Hello, San Ramon. This lesson is our second lesson of the year, and it's sort of geared toward TK-2, first graders and second graders can do it as well. Third through fifth is going to have a separate video, though some third graders might prefer this one, so I'll let the third grade teachers decide. So just so you know, not this week, but next week, we're intending to send home some art supplies for you guys. So the next couple weeks, you'll just be using what you have around your house. And then hopefully Friday the 11th, September 11th, I'll be able to send home art supplies per family. So you'll get like a bag of supplies for your family. And then you'll get paper. The amount of paper you get will be about how many kids you have in your family. So for instance, if you just have one student in your household at San Ramon, you'll get like 12 pieces of paper, and that'll keep you for the next couple of months. If you have more than one, you'll get however many times the number of students you have. Hopefully that'll make sense. So that'll happen, I'm hoping, on Friday, September 11th, and I'm super excited to be able to do that. It's just going to be basics like oil pastels, markers, a glue stick, and some watercolor paints and some paintbrushes. Can't remember if there's anything else, but kind of basics. But I think you probably have pencil. I think everyone got a pencil at the beginning of the year. Some people got crayons, some people got colored pencils. So you'll kind of make do with whatever else you have around your house for other projects. So today, what we're going to be talking about is, and with these videos, again, I think you should watch the whole thing. Just sit and watch and don't worry about having materials. And then when it's over, go back and watch it again with the materials you'll need, and then you can actually do the project with me. So don't feel like you need to be doing it the first time around, because sometimes it's just good to listen the first time and see what it's all about, and then you can go get the supplies. So what I'm going to be using is I'm going to just be using regular printer paper, a piece of printer paper, a pencil and an eraser. I have some crayons, I also have some markers, and I have some colored pencils. That's just because that's what I have at my disposal. You use whatever you have at your disposal, okay? All right, good. So today is really just about fun, just enjoying art. And the word we're going to talk about a lot is big word. So we're going to see if we can figure out what this is as I'm writing. I'm going to make sure you can see it. Okay. It starts with an I. So I makes an I sound, right? M is M. A is A. Now this word is G. It should make a G sound, but sometimes it makes a soft G, which is like a J. So it's J. Image, I, again, A, and this A is making a long A sound. You'll learn about why that is later. And then the shun is the end. How on earth do you say that? This is a wacky one, guys. Wait for it. T-I-O-N. Imagination. What does that mean? What does imagination mean? Stop for a second, think about, what does imagination mean? When someone says, use your imagination, what does that mean to you? Where have you heard that? You gotta think about that for a minute. Use your imagination. Oh, I know. It's like when you pretend play. So if you are with your siblings, maybe you pretend you're at a store, or you're a server at a restaurant, or you pretend you're working at the doctor's office, or you pretend you're a teacher. That's what I used to do when I was a little girl. I would line up all my stuffed animals after school, and I would set up a little chalkboard, and I would teach my stuffed animals. That's what I did all the time. I know, it's surprising to you, I bet. Trying to think what else you could do. All sorts of games. Sometimes people play house, all different things. And do you know what I just learned recently, you guys? This is so cool. The best thing is, it's fun, right? It's fun to pretend play. And then guess what? You develop your brain when you do pretend play. I am not kidding you. This front part of your brain, called the prefrontal cortex, that actually grows when you do pretend play. It doesn't grow as much like when you're on a computer, or if you're playing a video game. Your prefrontal cortex isn't doing too much then. But if you're talking through problems with your sibling or even by yourself, you're talking to your stuffies about a thing, your prefrontal cortex is literally growing, earth-shattering. And do you know what your prefrontal cortex does for you? That's the part of your brain that when you get kind of upset, it says, take a deep breath and calm down. Or when you're trying to plan what you want to do after school or after soccer practice, or when you're finished doing your homeschooling stuff, it's the part of your brain that says, oh, I could play this game or I could play this game, but then I have to get ready because I have my piano lesson later, and then I have to go to the grocery store with Dad, but then I'm going to come home and I'm going to get to play my video game then. It's that part of your brain that gets to plan things during your day. And if you use your imagination a lot, that part of your brain is going to grow. And later on, when you're older, you're going to want that part of your brain to grow. All right, so I want to get moving right on the art lesson, but I just wanted to share that with you because I thought that was so cool. All right, so this art lesson is going to be all about your name. So you're going to write your name. Now, you guys might, especially the younger guys, you might need your folks or an older sibling or someone in your house to write your name in pencil first on your paper before you get coloring, because I know that you're just learning how to write your name. And moms and dads and older siblings, the best way to do that is to start by, I'm going to put my paper up here, you can do like a dotted line for them if you can do that. So my last name is, you may or may not remember that, it's Chasman. Okay, I'm going to get some tape to hold my paper up. Okay, moms and dads and older sibs, this is how you do a dotted name in case you're not sure how to do that. It's kind of like what you'd see in a worksheet or something. So I'm going to do my last name. You kids, you should do your first name. I'm just going to do my last name because that's what you guys call me. So it starts with a C. So you see I'm just writing my giant C as a dot. And this way your child can trace over it and practice. Now, what I want to remind you kids, when you're writing your name, every time you're doing your letters, what we want you to do is we want you to start at the top and work your way down to the bottom. And that sounds sort of silly, but it just will make your penmanship better. And when you go to do cursive later, it'll make that easier too. So always start at the top and then go down at the bottom. And probably your teacher will or has sent home a paper that shows you arrows on the letters of how to go, and try to follow those because that really helps. I got a little squeezy at the end there, but you guys get the idea. It says Chasman. So then you'll give your paper to your child if they're not able to write their own name, and they'll then go over the name. They could use pencil if that's what you have. They can use crayon if that's what you have. I'm going to do, I'm going to use a marker. I'm just going to do a black marker for now, I think. And then, actually, I take that back. I'm going to use a colored pencil instead. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to trace over my letters. C, H, and you guys, that makes the ch sound. Those of you who are learning how to do your phonics, and then A, and then as you're doing your letters, tracing over your letters, I want you to let your imagination go kind of wild here. And I want you to look at each letter and say, gosh, does that letter remind me of something? Maybe it's an animal, maybe it's some other shape somewhere else. And then you're going to turn that letter into that thing. So for instance, I've got my giant C. For some reason, when I was thinking of my giant C this morning, I was thinking it reminds me of like a big mouth of an animal. So I wanted to put like big teeth. I got big jagged teeth, right? Arr. And I'm sort of seeing like a lion mouth or something. So now I'm going to take my yellow pencil and maybe some brown, and I'm going to make it a big mouth of a lion. Arr. And I'm going to color it in. I think the tan is probably a better color for my lion. And you might not be able to tell it's a lion from this because I'm only seeing that mouth part. But maybe you can figure out some way to make it seem more lion-y. Maybe I can somehow have like part of the mane pop in there so it looks like a lion. I'll have to think about how I can do that. Then maybe I want to do brown, and then maybe I want to go over it with yellow. And again, you don't have to have color pencils. That's just what I'm choosing to use right now. You might prefer crayons. You can try markers. Sometimes markers, especially if you're coloring in, they get a little frustrating. For the younger guys, you might want to stick with colored pencils or crayons. But if you don't have them, obviously you can use whatever you have at home right now. And then I'm gonna do, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking like a pinkish for the gums. What do you guys think? Like a pinkish, but then white, of course, for those teeth. Actually, their teeth probably aren't white. Their teeth are probably like a gray color, right? Because I don't think they do a lot of dental hygiene in the safari in the Sahara in Africa. What do you guys think? I'm thinking they probably kind of have grayish looking teeth, but we'll keep them white. All right, and then I'm not sure how to do the mane. I think I'll leave it at that. Now my H, I totally see that as a zebra. I mean, not a zebra, a giraffe. So I'm gonna even add like a little bit of a giraffe head here, I think. A giraffe head, maybe like little ears come up maybe, little ears, and then a mouth, right? Like that. My mom loves giraffes. It's like her favorite animal. So we talked about giraffes a lot when I was a little girl. So we'll make that a giraffe. I'll color it in yellow, and then it'll maybe I'll give it some brown spots, because you know they have sort of those brown spots in giraffes. They're just such sweet looking animals. I saw this on video where giraffes were sticking their faces inside a restaurant while people were eating. I think it had to be in Africa somewhere, but I totally want to bring my mom there because I think she would just think it's the greatest thing ever. We'll give him a little smiling face and put some spots on him. Just the way they chew the grass is so much fun. Okay, now my A. My A, because it's a circle and it has this little tail thing, it kind of reminds me of a snail. So I'm going to make my snail really brightly colored. I don't know why, I'm just in the mood for a brightly colored snail. So remember, use your imagination. You don't have to, I kept my giraffe and my lion kind of looking the right colors, but you don't have to do that. You could do what I'm going to do with my snail. And with my snail, I think I'll add some swirlies in there. And this can be like the little tail. And in fact, maybe what I'll do is have this come up a little bit. And I can add a little eye there. Because you know how the snail has its little head sticks out? And I'll give it a little smiley face. Not sure I've ever seen a snail smiling, but you know, we can pretend, right? That's what our imagination's all about. Now the S's, definitely, I can't, you know, how can you not think of a snake, right? So I'm gonna make them into a snake. And maybe my snake will be, maybe I should make my snake red because I made my other thing green. I gotta change it up a little bit. And I think what I'll do is I think I'll make it sort of a fatter looking snake than my little skinny S. And there's my eye, and there's the tongue coming out. And you could add a pattern to your snake. You know how they have those beautiful patterns on them? And make it really fancy schmancy if you want. That's what I would do. I would add it, really add some colors, make it look nice. And again, use whatever materials you have at your house. And hopefully soon we'll get you some new stuff. And when you do have your new stuff, do me a favor. Keep it in one spot. Keep it in the bag I give it to you in so that you guys don't lose it, because you are going to be sharing with your siblings. And I'll show you how to kind of be careful with stuff so that it doesn't, it lasts longer, because unfortunately, we don't have too much money for supplies, so we have to kind of make it work. We have to make them last a long time. So I'll show you how you can do that. And you'll just have to be really super careful. And if you're an older kiddo, that means you're showing your sibling how to be careful, your younger sibling how to be careful. All right, so then maybe my M. I'm sort of seeing a little inchworm. You know how inchworms do that like doop, 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 doop thing? So I'm seeing an inchworm here, so I'm going to do like a little inchworm head. Then I'll do little bubbles around my inchworm. My inchworm somehow got more legs than he should have, but that's okay. and then they always have those little lines, inchworms do. Have you ever noticed that? I used to have a lot of those around my house when I was a little girl. All right, and then my A, my next A. Maybe that's sort of feeling like maybe like a jellyfish. I'm kind of feeling a jellyfish. So the jellyfish, I think I'll make it like a pink jellyfish. I mean, if you guys have ever seen the jellyfish, like at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. They're so cool. So maybe what I'll do is I'll add some more little strings coming out of my A to make it look a little more jellyfish-like. And a lot of times they sort of have that ombre thing going on. So we'll sort of color it in. We can color in our A. And last but not least, my next N. Maybe that's a person and they're doing some sort of yoga position. All right, so I'm gonna add a head here, person's head. And this can be their arms, and this is their back, and this is their legs. So maybe I have their feet coming out like this, right? And their arms going out like that. And they're happy because they're relaxed. I did yoga this morning. It kind of has been more relaxing to me. I'm starting to like it more than I used to like it before. Little arms and feet. There we go. All right. And then if you feel like you can't see the letters anymore, like you can kind of see my letters still, but feel free to go over it more either with a crayon or marker or pen if your folks have a pen. And you can go over each letter a little more so it's still really distinct what your name is, because I was thinking you guys could share this with each other, maybe on like a Zoom at the end of the week or something with your class. Your teacher can decide what they want to do. But I thought that would be kind of fun, and then you can share your names, and then you could talk about what you made all your letters into. And then maybe what you want to do is maybe you want to add some stuff around it, because mine's not looking super exciting. So you could do things like add clouds or add water, or you could do like a design that you like. I'm going to let you guys kind of decide. I'm going to do some clouds. I'm dreaming for blue skies. That's what I'm dreaming for. It's very smoky right now, and I'm sort of tired of the smoke. So I'm hoping that one of these mornings we're going to wake up to a beautiful blue sky and a sunny sun, and it's going to feel like it used to, which I just kind of miss, I have to admit. I'm missing that stuff. And then maybe I want to have like the ocean down here. Oh my gosh, and you guys, this summer I went to the ocean and we saw a whale. It just was like hanging out near the house we were in, just swimming around. It was so incredibly cool. I loved it. All right, so you guys get the idea. So you're going to write your name as neatly as you can. And then you're going to turn each letter into some sort of animal. I went with animals, but you don't have to do animals. Maybe you're feeling like buildings, or maybe you see some other sort of shape in your letters, and that's okay. You can go any way you want, because today we are using our imaginations, okay? And then you'll bring it to your class if your teacher wants you to do that, and you can explain what each letter is to them, okay? All right, I hope you guys have a great time. I can't wait to hear what you've done with your imaginations. And yeah, that's all for now. Thanks. Bye.